Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our Region's Business. Innovation, transformation, momentum, improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we're going to spend part of a summer weekend doing a little sightseeing. We'll find out about an unusual regional partnership, including the Andy Warhol Museum, Falling Water, and the Mattress Factory that are jointly marketing themselves to the world. Plus, Yellow Cab is celebrating a century in service in Pittsburgh. We'll hitch a ride to find out what's on down the road. But first, another milestone, this one for the Gateway Clipper Fleet, which is celebrating 55 years on the Three Rivers with a new boat and a general sprucing up. Terry Wirginis is president and owner of the Gateway Clipper Fleet. And welcome, good to have you back. Good to see you.
Bill, great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Big milestone, I guess. 55
yes, sir.
Years.
55 years and 25 million passengers almost.
25 million.
Yes,
well,
yes.
and you know, I've heard some of the stories actually from your grandfather about how it all started. It was a very different Pittsburgh and very different rivers when John Connolly had this idea.
You know, John Connolly was a great entrepreneur and a marketer, but and when he and my grandmother brought the first boat here in 1958, the spring of 1958, to talk about vision, a visionary, because there was no access to the river. The rivers were really still cesspools. The Allegheny County Sanitary Authority hadn't been even created yet. It was just in the beginning stages. So it took somebody that was really a visionary to be able to get something like the Gateway Clipper Fleet started in that year.
Yeah, as it turned out, he really was a true visionary and got in on the ground floor of one of the great river transformation stories probably in the world over the last.
Arguably the greatest river transformation story over the last 50 years, really. So.
And so 25 million passengers since
yes,
you
sir.
started?
And if I could have $1 for every person that comes up to me and said, I was on my prom on that boat, and that's the last time I was there. So we'd like to get more people to look and see what we have here today, and we've really grown up with the city, with the development, with the beautiful riverfronts that we have now, the most beautiful, I would submit to you, in the United States and North America. And I think we've kept up with that. So.
No, it's very true. I noticed the boats, new paint job, a little sprucing up. They look great.
Sprucing up on the inside and the outside. Okay. A little more marketing and to give us a new push. And we have a new chef, Chef David Logan, who has a big background in Pittsburgh, and some very creative entrees at this point, some creative issues on the types of cruises we do. So it's getting great response.
So tell me about the new boat.
The Three Rivers Queen. She's 338 passengers. She seats about 250 people for dinner. I think, and people agree with me, that she's the most romantic of all of our vessels. She's a little more intimate. She's a lot more intimate. And with nice little quiet spaces that you can kind of get away from the rest of the folks on board and sit with your friends on an area overlooking the paddle wheel, the covered area on the back of the boat, or you can go up to the various little areas in the vessel where you can kind of get away and be by yourself and not quite so in with the large group. And it's very well received.
So far so good. You know, you mentioned the proms, and of course, you know, obviously appealing to tourists. Everybody has to take their Gateway Clipper ride when they come here on a visit. But lately, you seem to have a push into more in the corporate world as well.
We are working very diligently with the corporate markets, especially. This is a great city for corporations, and we've actually done a lot of business over the last 2 years with the gas, with the gas
all
industry.
The energy activity and those companies?
Activity. With as beautiful as the city has become from the riverfront, and there's no better way to see it, and what a way to express to from corporations involved in energy, to be able to take their customers or take their guests out and look at this beautiful city and the centerpiece of the region, the center of this region, out on the waters, and it's just been it's very well received.
Has corporate business always been a big part of the business?
Yes, it has.
More so now than historically?
It has historically been a significant part of our business, and I think as Pittsburgh has upgraded its riverfronts, we've also upgraded our facilities. So there's a lot more that we can do from a standpoint of corporate meetings, corporate events, and it is expanding, and I think it's the area that we can have the most growth in, quite frankly.
And I just wonder, how has you mentioned the 25 million passengers all told. Do you see the interest in Pittsburgh and interest in this kind of tourism increasing as well in recent years, especially since the recession?
Yeah, very, very much so. Well, the recession, 2009 was a difficult year, I think, for anybody in the entertainment industry, and that was the beginning, but we've been able to rebuild and get back over that time. And the budgets are a little bit tighter, and maybe not quite as large of events as we had and as extravagant events as we've had, but we've been able to adapt to that very well, and we are meeting our customers' needs, our clients' needs is what we're all about.
Well, I know we often host, and the Allegheny Conference hosts organizations from around the country that seem to show up here in Pittsburgh. A lot of other cities come to benchmark Pittsburgh, and it's always one of the things we recommend is taking your group on the Gateway. There really is. If you want to understand the history of the region, if you want to understand the recreational opportunities, there's no better way to do it than get down on the river.
We appreciate it. Come on down to the river.
Yeah, well, excellent. Well, Terry, congratulations. And as I said, I've been watching those boats outside our window recently, so I'll try to get down there and give it a shot myself.
Thank you. I look forward to hosting you.
All right, thanks a lot. Next up, Yellow Cab celebrates a century in our region. Stay with us.